I made a huge mistake in forgetting about this survival city builder. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome back to Endzone. This game is awesome, and I kind of stopped playing this game because I forgot that there was going to be some updates coming out, missed those, got into some other games, and look at all the stuff that they've done since April, since we took a look at this game. Taking place after a giant apocalypse of the world where nuclear power plants are attacked across the planet, and droughts and other things and wars start hitting, and now we have ourselves the August update complete. Check this out. They've added expeditions, scenarios, technology, radiation, and a new civilization build on the game, as well as leadership coming soon. So that means electricity's been reworked. All the stuff in the previous playthroughs have probably been fixed up and improved upon. As you remember previously, we kind of got hit by a lot of droughts and stuff and made the game more difficult to play. Though it was fun, they've definitely made some great and welcomed improvements. So good to see everybody back for another episode of Endzone, A World Apart. Early access available now on Steam and with huge improvements made. So congratulations to the team on that one. I'm really glad that I kind of saw like a notice on Twitter that said that they came out with this new civilization update. And I was like, oh, that must be their first update. Nope. Been like 10. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at what's new. First of all, they have a tutorial survival mode and scenarios in the game, and the scenarios are actually quite cool. It reminds me a little bit of Frostpunk in a way where, you know, you're not necessarily building a city to survive, but more about completing objectives. So this one's all about gathering seeds. This one's about surviving multiple droughts. This one's about getting a large population. This one's about kind of getting started and doing it in a very difficult setting and supplying everybody with food and water, surviving rainy seasons and other things like that. So that's going to be kind of cool for those of you who want a different challenge. But we're going to start a new city here today in survival mode, which is the standard mode of the game. But there's also modes within that survival mode. So build mode, easy mode, no trees mode, or like super ultra IGN reporter mode. We're going to just go with normal today to see what's new, and we'll go ahead and start our city. I'm going to put up a random seed of, let's see, 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. Oh, it looks like you can start with seeds on lock too, so that's another thing you have to barter. It has been forever since I played this game, so it's really like we're starting from scratch again, and it's more like a blind playthrough because of all the new things that they've added. I think we'll just keep everything in the default settings and see exactly how difficult it is. But of course, as always, glory to Raptoria down below in that comment section, and members, make sure you show me that golden one, because we are #1 when it comes to building these survival cities, and this game is just great. Survival is awesome, city builders are awesome, and this combines both of those. So if you like yourself like 7 Days to Die or Rust or Night of the Dead or whatnot, and if you like yourself city builders like City Skylines or whatnot, then games like Surviving the Aftermath or this, Endzone, A World Apart, are definitely for you, so keep those in mind. Alright, let's go ahead and start here. Again, the nuclear power plants have been attacked by terrorists or whatnot, and they've exploded all across the world, leaving radiation and such, and now it's been a few years, so there's still a great danger, but for whatever reason, the game seems to start you next to next to power plants. Like, they're visible on the map, which is kind of funny. Like, you're literally building next to Chernobyl Reactor 4. Lucas, this looks like a good place to settle. You know what we've learned in the Endzone basics basic needs come first and foremost. We have to set up a water and food supply, and then let's build ourselves a new home. Well, welcome to Raptoria, everybody. Let's get our bearings here and see what might be new. We'll take a look around and see what we can find. As always in this game, you'll need to find factories and things to gather from. There's also expeditions, which were coming the last time that I played this, and I had forgotten about it. There's our nuclear power plant there, which probably contains a lot of materials. Yeah, look at that. Lots of parts and things. I'll have to get my bearings on this game again, but it'll be fun to play it again from scratch and learn things. Ooh, military bases are new. Nice. Lots of stuff inside there. Oh, and the vehicles actually... Oh, there must be, I guess, one of the quests there. So it looks like we can break down military trucks within the base and also the base itself. So everything can be claimed. Are those German tanks? Yep, that is a German tank there. I believe the developers are German, so that's a Leopard 2A6, I believe, unless this is taking place in the future and it's like a various version or whatnot. But anyway, let's go ahead and start building our city. Now, where's our city? Right there. We have ourselves a little minivan that broke down. So let's go ahead and start ordering people around here a little bit. Let's see, location attractiveness. Oh, that's cool. That actually gives positive influence and can attract other people to the city. One thing I remember too from my previous playthrough is never speed up time. And this also plays out a little bit like Banished in terms of like how you assign people jobs and stuff. So right now we have 10 people in the colony. Well, let's get cracking then, boys. What do we need to do first? I guess we got to build stuff. So they said food and water. We can build a jetty, which is used for gathering water, and then we should be able to store that somewhere. There's a lot of junk over here. This is going to be perfect to gather from. And we can also do fishing over here too, so food and water can be gathered right away that way. We can also do a cultivated field. There's a kitchen, fishing hut. Let's do that too. I can't remember what's good to start with, but since the game has changed so much, like tactics that were good long ago might be completely different or not valuable now. So I'm just going to start with the food and water here. And it looks like I can't build this thing right there. We'll build it up here maybe. Looks like we can clear those vehicles out of the way, so that's good. Okay, so we'll get cracking on building those things. Let's assign our people to be builders now. And looks like they'll do it automatically. But let's just basically get everybody into building right now. We'll go ahead and start setting things up. Let's also build ourselves a gatherer's cabin. I remember it's very valuable too. And it looks like that is pretty cool. Wow, there's a lot of stuff around here. Yeah, you don't want to clear cut the forest because that can provide you a lot of food, especially at the start. So let's go ahead and build a gatherer's cabin pretty close to our, I guess, our main base. What if we can put it down here? I want it somewhere away, but it looks like there's junk everywhere. So I guess the best place to build it will probably be over here on this side of the quote-unquote HQ. I think we can upgrade this van to be a more permanent structure, so we can do more things with it later if we upgrade. Yep, upgrade buildings, so it requires a few things to upgrade, but it'll give us more benefits in the long run. Take a look at all the stuff there is to do in this game, by the way. If you've been looking for a more serious surviving the aftermath, then this game is definitely it for you. So you can see all the resources that are required here. I see new stuff. I don't think the mine was in there before. Housing, upgraded shelters, that's for sure new. Campfires, that's another thing you need to build. The cemetery, decontamination post. There's a lot of new stuff here. Research stations, expedition, electricity. So we have wind turbines and also solar. I don't think there was wind before last time I played. Nice little decorations and tasks, which of course we'll have to get started with now too, and telling our people to gather wood and materials. So let's go ahead and cut down over here and also gather plants here. I forget exactly how to make that bigger. Let's see if I can remember. Oh, actually we have statistics here on production. Oh, that's great. I'm definitely not a bookworm like that. I just kind of like to get a feel for things, which makes me a little less efficient in terms of making sure everything's all accounted for. But looks like I don't think we can make this any bigger, so we'll just make that as a gather post. Maybe we can actually do that with the gatherer's hut when that's done. So I guess we don't need to do that, but it's an option. Okay, and I also want to make sure we gather scrap down here so people will grab materials as needed. There we go. All right, the people have finished the water jetty. That's great. Looks like we have a new thing here. Discontent, even-temperedness, and contentedness. Wow, that's not a word I think I've seen before. Rich food, adults, children. Oh, we actually have 5 children. There's the average health of settlers. All these materials in the game too. Medication, cloth, metals, plastic, electronics, and coal. Those were there before. Radiation protection, tools, scrap, wood, food, and water are also very important as well. Okay, let's assign somebody to gathering water. We'll put 1 person on that. So let's take somebody to do water. Actually, I think that takes a random settler. Although, yeah, I think actually you have to have a water carrier. But we might need a place to store that, actually. I think you might need to build a storage thing, and then they'll work on that, which we'll get to as soon as a little bit more of the area is clear. There's like a complete junkyard near the lake. So there's that. Okay, let's start gathering food. I'm going to try to start gathering as much food as possible right away. You never know when we'll have a drought or something like that. And when there is a drought, from what I remember, the lakes completely dry up like instantaneously and is no longer a food source. So it's definitely something to be aware of. Oh, looks like there's actually weather to take into account, possibly, for nighttime temperatures, maybe? And there's our electricity grid, too, of stuff that requires electricity. In this game, it kind of works like Anno 1800, too, where if you provide a building with electricity, most buildings don't require electricity. I think some do. But if you provide a building with electricity, it'll actually become more productive, and it'll increase its output. So if you happen to give the, for example, the fishing hut electricity, it'll allow them to work faster, and I think throughout the night, too. It'll give the night shift a little bit of a bonus. Okay, I need to get some people working here. So what are these workers called? Settlers? Oh, okay, so 4 random settlers will just take jobs here, I guess. Let's go ahead and reduce builders down to 2. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 people on gathering and 2 people on settling until I remember and get the hang of it. That music is dank, man. Some really good tunes there. I like it. Okay, so let's see. We've got scrap piles here. We've got wood around. We've got night coming shortly. We have contamination, too, which constantly moves around based on the water. I think if it rains or if a sandstorm comes through, it'll move soil around. So definitely want to watch out about building there. It just takes extra time to remove contaminated soil. We also see our soil moisture. So if we're going to put down a farm, we'll need to make sure that we have some sort of irrigation going on, or that we build somewhere where there's actually moisture, which looks to be pretty much nowhere, actually. So good thing we didn't start with farming. We'll get to it eventually, though. It will be needed, and gives you a gargantuan boost. Hey, check out the animals. We have ourselves some stags and does here, and you can kind of see that they're mutated slightly. They kind of look like, I don't know, a little off-colored, but definitely could use the meat. Okay, so our people now are basically sleeping on the floor. Let's get to building them houses. They definitely earned it after day one. But, of course, I think getting food and water up is a little bit more important than a place to sleep. I mean, I'd rather eat first before I had a place to sleep, if I'm being honest. But all things in time. Okay, so let's see. I kind of want to build a few of these. Yeah, I feel like the developers have definitely added some music to this game, and that's a welcomed sound for sure. Each one of these can hold, let's see, 2 adults and 3 children. So we have homes for 2, 4, 6, 8. And it would appear our people we do appreciate. So let's go ahead and add one more building to that. Very good. Hey, round of applause to all you guys, too, by the way, for joining me here today. You guys are awesome, so thanks for being one of the best communities on YouTube, being so supportive and positive and excited about newer games like this one. I guess this is a new update and relatively a new game, too. It didn't just come out, yesterday, but it is new or newer as of this year. So I'm really grateful to see all these updates and that the developers are keeping things alive. We got people bringing back scrap now. I think we can build a warehouse somewhere where they can store stuff, although it is a little spendy to build that. And you probably want to build a warehouse near somewhere where you have a larger building. So, for example, we should be able to go out and start gathering supplies from these wind turbines here. And we can build, I think, it's called a scavenger building or something, where a lot of people could go out and gather materials much faster. All right, these houses are being put down, no problem. Let's build some roads now, too. Now that they're working on their stuff, let's go ahead and do a road. What is that under? Maybe logistics? Yep, dirt road, paved road, remove road. Oh, a temporary storeroom. That's new. Storing different resources that offers little capacity. The building cannot be used to collect water. Okay, well, that's a cool thing then. Although I don't even know if I want to do that, because by the time they build that thing and this area is clear, it'll rather be pretty quick. Maybe we should try it, though. It might be a good idea. $36.52 to build that. Ooh, that's kind of spendy, actually. There's a warehouse and an upgraded warehouse and a marketplace. The other thing I wanted to build that I thought would be good at the start would be a... Let's see, we have a hunting lodge. I think food is okay for now. I want to try to do the cistern. Collects and stores water. So what we want to do is put a cistern near the docks, and the docks will then gather all the water from the cistern, so long as it's within range. So let's go ahead and put that here. So basically, someone will walk from the cistern to the dock and build it, or rather gather it and fill up the cistern. And eventually you'll probably want to build something like the water tower, which can filter water, but you'll need plastics and such to do that. So pretty useful thing. One of the things I like in this game too is I believe at nighttime people will use torches to look around, like they're smart enough to use lighting that way. But eventually you can replace all of that with electricity, and that becomes quite useful. Alright, looks like we have very little rich food. Looks like they're eating that. Of course, at the start, you would imagine that food would drop before it increases. Now, I think the way to get people in this game from before is to have them have children by giving them comfortable homes, just like in Banished. The more comfortable they are, more needs that are met, the more likely they are to have families. But in this, there might be a way, actually, that people will come in from the outside. So we'll see how that goes. And it's raining now, so there you go. Soil moisture is now increasing where we are. Great. So if we built a farm now, that would be a good call. It would at least get rain, but what we need is more people in the town in order to get more people to work on all the projects that we have. So let's add some more homes. I guess we'll add some more on the backside. Let's see, 3, 4. Let's just go with 4 homes on the back, and they'll continue to construct everything that's needed. How are we doing on workers so far? We have 2 builders, 2 settlers, 2 gatherers, and fishermen working. We'll have to have somebody on water carrying, too. Looks like up to 5 people can work there. Look at all these other jobs, too. Decontamination, logistics, scouting, explorers, mortician, research, teacher, pub keeper, medics, and herbalists, miners, technicians, refiners, tailors. Lots of jobs to do, even cooks. And that takes something from more than likely surviving the aftermath, where raw food can be put into meals, which makes it a lot more beneficial. And it looks like our people are happy. Wonderful. Glory to Raptoria. Looks like they're actually doing some good stuff here and keeping the town together. And really happy with the improvements we've made so far. It's only been a day. Hey, that's pretty good work. We built 4 houses and a dock and a fishing hut within a day. That's pretty damn good. Wow, that's faster than they can build a Wendy's. Wendy's down below in that comment section. Let me see those emotes. Come on now. Give me. I'm hungry. Come on. All right, let's build over this way. We can build the rest of the way when the pile's out of the way, but at least we can build most of the road until they've cleared out all that scrap. Good. So from regular scrap, we can actually turn that into other things. So scrap is kind of like a catch-all material, and then you can refine it by sorting through it for other things. So cloth, metal, plastic, and electronics can be found through that. I think coal can be found through turning tree wood into charcoal. You can do it that way, or possibly mine for it now. And also wood can be gathered pretty much from the trees, or sometimes even homes and things like that. Like if there's a log cabin out there somewhere, we'll be able to find it. Wow, look at all the houses and stuff around, though. Oh, and there's something called the Endzone. Oh, what is this? A nuclear missile silo? What is this? Hence the name Endzone. Like the game, I'll have to figure out what that is. An interesting place. Send a scout from the expedition station to explore it. Oh, well, we can also salvage it if we want to. Do we actually have possession of nuclear weapons? Have we already become a nuclear power with a population of 11? One of the children grew up, and now we have an extra person to, I guess, finagle around with. We'll save them until the water thing is ready. We'll keep them in general construction for now. We're low on water reserves. That is correct. We'll have to get that cistern up right away then. As soon as we can. Let's add some more builders then. We'll keep one in settling, and we will have everybody else work on building as soon as possible. In fact, so much so that we're going to actually pull some people off fishing and go right into construction. There we go. They're building roads, homes, water. Then we'll take some of those people and put them on water duty. Rain catcher, very good thing. The rain can be contaminated, though. The longer you play, the more contaminated the water becomes. And it looks like this area is actually decontaminated now. Building produces contaminated resources. Oh, interesting. Must be because they're gathering from somewhere that actually has contamination. Possibly. Looks like for the most part, though, these will be okay. All right, well, now we've got people working on gathering, or we should. Yep, we have 2 on that and 2 on fishing. So we're at least bringing in fish and berries, so that's a great start for our people. And we have ourselves a cistern that should be able to gather from that jetty there. And when a drought comes, you can actually have underwater wells that will continue to pull up water from underneath the earth and continue to pump in water for irrigation for your plants so they can stay, I guess, hydrated? Or what would you call it? Irrigated? Yeah, that's the technical word. That's what big brain people use, is big words. Wow, look at the graphics here. This looks really nice. There's a lot of good detail. Things don't just look like generic boxes. You can actually tell that you're looking at like an arcade cabinet, which will have electronic components, or refrigerators, or barrels, or a concrete wall. So there's a lot of great detail to this game. Vehicles, for example. We saw those tanks earlier. Very cool. All right, let's see if we can... Oh, let's make this building a priority. There should be a way to do that. There we go. Build next. We want to make this a top priority building for our people. Now, I want to do a full playthrough series on this one, too. So if you haven't smashed like, please do consider smashing like on the video and subscribing, because I really missed this game, and I'm so happy that I recalled it and that the developers put in so much love. I feel like it's a responsibility for me to cover this game and Surviving the Aftermath, because I enjoy them so much. But Surviving the Aftermath has had more updates than this game. However, I just feel like this is more in tune with Banished, as we're Surviving the Aftermath is more like Surviving Mars, which, of course, it's kind of inspired by. So it's nice to play a Banished post-apocalyptic survival game. Nobody's taken the roads yet, but we do have our friend here finally making the roads. Let's hear it for Doris. Doris, the Raptorian. Hell yeah. Looks like you're doing every other spot with Evie. Evie and Doris building roads. Hell yeah. Nice job, ladies. And it looks like we got somebody coming out here. Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian coming on out to start construction on the cistern. That's right. Good job. All the Raptorians are working together to get the job done. Hell yeah. Good job, everybody. All right, so what other locations are there? It'd be nice if there was a giant river in the game where you could trade. It'd be really cool if there were other people to trade with. Now, I don't know if there's military stuff yet in the game, But with that leadership update coming soon, it might somehow make something about diplomacy and about running a government and things like that. So we might actually end up seeing more to this game than just city builder. And the fact that we have exploration teams and can go out and do stuff like that means that there might be a way to do... Now, actually, there are other camps around. I do remember events will pop up where someone will want to trade you like 100 wood for 100 food or something like that. And that's actually quite cool. All right, a couple people are going out here now to do a little bit of construction, I can only imagine. Maybe clearing areas here. Brian, where are you going? Oh, that's Billy. Little old Billy Nelson going out there to work at the old fishing dock. Nice. Well, this gives us plenty of area to build industrial buildings near the water. This is a good area to put storage down and other processing, and then building our neighborhood here. It's actually really good soil, too, so I should conserve some of this for farming. But again, that can all change based on the rain. It only looks green now because it's raining here, so if we build it there and build an irrigation thing nearby, we can make a huge farm field, and it'll only benefit us if it rains, but no drawback if it's a drought or if it's dry, because then we'll have irrigation going. Let's take a look at that little jetty there. Nice. Okay. So I'm trying to get that cistern built. Wow, there's so many things to be reminded of in this game. Tasks are what will pop up to do trading. We also have a notice for low water. We're okay on that, though. Not too concerning at the moment, but it is definitely one of the things you always want to be monitoring for sure. But I've survived many a day's low water in this game where you feel like it's, you know, going to be over any second, and you happen to end up being okay for a long time. Research stations, expedition stations, those are new. A weather station as well. I think that's an older item. Helps to predict droughts. I think there might be other types of things that can happen in this game. I can't recall if meteorite strikes will come down or if any sort of other weather will strike. I do know that there's sandstorms, and I know that there's also droughts. And I think sometimes droughts and sandstorms can come hand in hand. So if there's a giant sandstorm, it's probably likely caused by a recent drought, so it'll hit you twice. And the problem with the sandstorms is that it will blow in a lot of contaminated soil, and so that could hurt your people's health, and of course also damage the farm fields too. That could become, have a different type of soil that needs to be decontaminated as well, which is just an absolute nightmare. All right, what do we have here? Cistern. Also materials need to be delivered. 42 scrap, 28 wood, so that's the next project that we're working on. Really the last thing that needs to be built aside from roads. Let's see what else we can put down for future layouts. Well, luckily everybody's got a house, so that'll increase the amount of children that they're having. I believe everyone has a home. Is there a way to see that? There's probably an easy statistic to view on that. Let's see. Game log. Survival guide. If we take a look at homes, let's see. Population. Living space distribution. So it looks like we've got 15 capacity for 15, I think. 15 adults. And then you can also see fertility. The reason we're building cabins rather than shelters, too, is that they're actually higher in fertility, so that helps out. Plus, you need plastic for those, and we don't have that. Shelters are good for a great boost to your population without working too hard to get it, and that just makes everything a lot easier. All right, looks like our people are getting to work now at cutting down trees and moving debris away from the cistern area. We need to get water ASAP. I should have built that in a much more open area, but sometimes the AI can dawdle and take its time to go to where you want to. For example, we've indicated that the next thing to be built is the cistern, and these ladies are a little busy on building the roads, so that happens. Looks like there's 6 workers here. Having 0 water for a little bit is not a problem. It will take some time before there's really any major consequence for it. We have 316 food, so we must put everybody on water duty for now, on at least building the cistern. Then we can put 5 people behind working there, and it'll be okay. Bum, bum, bum. All right, so let's see. So water's the next thing. Then we'll start focusing on food, and then we'll start focusing on getting more scrap. And then wood's really the last thing that you need to worry about. It comes in quite frequently, so long as you have a big old forest nearby, and we certainly do. Okay, what else can we tell our people to do? Wish there were more options for building, though, in terms of, like, activating priorities, but I think we're just going to need to bust up our population a little bit, get a little higher pop, and then that way, with more people, we can do more jobs. And eventually, they'll grow up long enough. We'll pass, and then they'll have a higher population. They can also go through school, too. Schools give benefits for jobs being done at a higher proficiency. So it's very important to make sure that you build the school when you can. Although it has a capacity, so you might need to build a couple of schools. There we go, folks. Now we got people finally building on the cistern. Jeez. Alright. And I believe water gets delivered to the... I think people, when it's delivered to the cistern, they then can get it from here. I think once it's teleported there, I think it can be distributed to homes, like automatically, but I can't quite recall. Alright, we have 2 people who are thirsty. They want a little drink. And as soon as this thing is done, we'll be ready to go. There we go. Took a little longer than I wanted, but there we go. We got it now. Alright, we'll assign 5 people for water. And we'll assign another couple of people for food, so we'll have 1 builder and 1 settler. And we'll see how that goes for a while. Alright, let's get those resources up. I have nothing but confidence about our people being able to kick butt now. Everybody should be working on going to the docks. And it might be a good idea to build a road there, so that way they don't have to go so far now that some debris is cleared. Just a little bit of debris has been cleared. We'll have to get that concrete pile out of the way. This kind of gives me vibes of the world of Last of Us. I certainly loved the first game for its appearance in like decaying urban environments. And this gives you an interesting mix of both, because you can enter small towns that have very large looking apartment buildings, but then also you're in the middle of the woods, and so it's like, are we really truly far away from civilization because there's a nuclear power plant nearby, and you would imagine that'd be somewhat near a major city. Alright, water's going back up. We're at 61, so we pulled out of that nosedive. Glory to Raptoria. Good job to our team members. Excellent. And we got people assigned to clearing out stuff here as soon as possible. And we'll need to continue to gather scrap and wood. Like I said, scrap's going to be a little bit more important now. 12 adults. That's great. We'll continue to increase water production for a while. Builders should be working on continuously doing jobs related to road building. And we'll just have to continue to clear things out. So from here on out, everybody who goes from a child to an adult will have to work solely on clearing out debris. I believe they're automatically assigned here. So you see one person already working on wood, but that's pretty much done now because they've cut down all the trees in the area. So we'll have to be careful about that. I believe trees can regrow. There is a forester in the building menu, so you can build another one of those if you need. And right now our people are working on debris. We lose a child because we gain an adult, so that's good news. Another person to work in our debris gathering business. Water should come up eventually. 1 builder, 2 settlers. I like it. I want people now continuously gathering. That's good. And we have plenty of homes now, I think, for everybody. Capacity 2 out of 5, so we definitely have a few room. Oh yeah, perfect. A couple of open homes. Perfect. So that gives us a little wiggle room to attract more people, whether they're born here or whether they move in. And apparently these people agree as well. Higher rate of reproduction, newborn settlers will get somewhat older. Oh, they get... Oh, okay, so it increases their aging, so that way they enter the workforce faster? I guess it makes them more adult faster, so that way they're ready to enter the world of labor. Okay, so we can also do a orchard. We can do a hunting lodge. We won't need to do that just yet. I think we want to focus solely on water storage, which there is a capacity here of water. 2,000 liters is what I'm assuming that is. And we can also build a few other things nearby to gather water as needed. I wonder if we can put this on a 24-hour shift. We can change the field of work, but we really don't need to do that. The difficulty of the game also increases water distance and also size of lakes, which the bigger the lake, the more fishing docks you can build around it. And I don't know if overlapping fishing docks have any sort of negative effect, but... Well, let's continue to increase speed. We actually have a drought coming, finally. Let's see if we can withstand this drought. We can definitely prepare for it. I think that means we should probably build another cistern to get more people working on these jobs. So let's go ahead and slow down time a little bit. That's probably the last thing you want to see at the beginning of the game, is an early drought like that really throws you off. I can remember that from the last major updates too, where a drought will really just set you behind quite immensely. Because it throws off all your ability to store water which sometimes after you're done storing water, you want to have your people go to do other jobs. So it's nice to be able to store water and then be able to do some other jobs for a little while, especially at the start. We'll do a dock there, and we'll do a cistern here, and see if we can actually get a backup water reservoir going. Although I don't think they'll be able to do it in time. There's just simply not enough people in the town to do more than one construction project. That's a long road. There we go. That's close enough. Okay, let's get a few of our gatherers on working on building instead. So we'll get 2 of our settlers now working full-time building. We now have full-time water carriers. The 5 out of 10 is the one that's constructed, although the second one will be a total of 10. Also, I forgot, when the drought hits, there's no ability to gather food either. I think the only thing you can do is maintain farms with irrigation and hunt. I think that's it. After that, all the crops and such dry up, all the little berries and mushrooms and onions and other things that might be found in the forest dry up, and also the lakes dry up, so there's no fishing. So really the only thing you can rely on is hunting and farming that's irrigated. Alright, that's going to come on day, looks like to be 8. Right now we're in day, well, seasons actually, but we'll consider these days. It's not going to be any rain today, but there will be tomorrow, which will give us one last thing. I think also when it rains, it replenishes any plants that have died, so after the drought, we'll have to wait for a rain. So if there's a giant drought and then a dry season afterwards, it's going to be a long time till we see food coming back, or water and food, both together. Luckily, we only have about, oh, actually, we got another child here. Cool. We got a population just under 20, so it's not going to be too hard to keep everyone fed and give them enough water, but it's going to be important to try to survive our first drought. Very big natural disaster here that you're going to see quite a few times in this game. Well, let's make sure we put that on build next, too. I want to make sure that's a high priority. Now, once the drought hits, too, it's a good idea to pull people off gathering and fishing. And you can just do full-time construction, because without the ability to gather, you can do all sorts of material gathering and construction. Then it's a very good time to do construction. Alright, we have gatherers 2 out of 4, fishermen 3 out of 4. I'm going to go ahead and pull somebody off there. I want to get that thing done right away. Let's go ahead and put a full construction team down. Then we'll pull the building team off, and we'll have them be full-time gatherers. Looks like they need 42 scrap. We have more than enough. It needs to be delivered then, which actually I think that's delivered by settlers, so we better pull back on that. I could never remember if it's settlers that deliver materials or if the construction teams do that. So it's always a good idea to have a couple of settlers, because I can never recall. Let's see. Carries out simple tasks and helps to transport resources. So there you go. So either they do light gathering, unassigned gathering, where you can just mark a spot for gathering rather than having a giant building do it. There we go. Alright, no more building. Full stop. Construction is stopped, and everybody is gathering water now. We need a lot more than just that water. So we have a few days to get all the water that we need for the giant drought. It is coming. You can see it right there, day 8, giant drought. It will rain after that, though. So that's a very good thing for us. And luckily, the teams can go right down to the jetty and gather water that way. So that's a big bonus for us. And then, of course, we'll go back to gathering resources again whenever the drought is over. Major thing that we still need is scrap. Scrap becomes a little hard to come by, especially as you get further away from your camp. You have to send out teams to go get it. But, there we go. Scrap piles here. Plenty of little, like destroyed trailers or something there. So there's definitely a good resource there. They thought about that. Lighter near the camp, but better as we get further away, as you would imagine. More materials further away. But it is harder to get them back until you have the people. Looks like we have another child that's become an adult. I think we'll leave them as a settler. I believe settlers might transport water back to homes. Oh, it looks like they go to the cisterns to get them. So it might be a good idea to have water stored inside the city, too. Okay. Oncoming drought, yes indeed. We'll have to make sure food and water are both ready to go. We got 4 people gathering fish and berries. Alright, this is it, boys. Let's see if we can survive this giant drought. Here it comes. just a couple of days. I think this is really all we can do at this point. We're just gonna have to hold it and see what happens. Okay, about a day and a half out then for the big drought. Just gonna keep an eye on the population to see what happens. 2 gatherers, 2 fishermen. Looks like this one is completely full or getting there. Capacity is very close to being full. I think we should continue to gather though. And this one's very close too. So we can at least store 4,000 water before the big drought. So that's great. So that'll have us ready to go right at the start of the drought. Keep working, everybody. Thing is, at nighttime, they don't add to the supply. It only subtracts. So we'll have to be ready ahead of time. And protective clothing. We're starting to run out of that now too. So we'll have to make that from plastics. So the next thing we'll want to start constructing is to take some of the scrap and turn it into clothing at the tailor shop, which will require cloth, so then we'll have to build a recycler first. Of course, they don't want it near the home, so we have to kind of build it somewhere away from that, so we can start building an industrial area, probably down here. Probably not a good idea next to the water, but, you know, we got to keep everything nice and tight. Okay, let's build a road down this way. And we can build more storage and stuff down here. We'll make this our industrial area, and we'll try to keep the homes here. Ah, wonderful. Just a sip. We made 4,000 out of 5,000 water. Just a taste of what's to come. And here comes the drought. So now with the reduction in protective clothing, our people will start to have health problems if we don't address that soon. So what we'll do is we'll first build a recycler that can start pulling out cloth, so then we can build the recycler, or the tailor, which then requires cloth. So first it'll do plastic, then it'll do cloth, and we'll need some more people to do these jobs again. So good thing that we have, wow, we almost have as many children as we do adults. And it looks like everybody's done a great job of gathering all the water they could. We're not at capacity yet. Capacity is 4,000. Production limit's set to 90,000, but I really don't care. I want them producing all the time. And there we go. The drought is here. So let's slow down time real briefly and tell everyone to start gathering building materials. So we'll assign everybody back to other jobs. And we'll assign like 5 builders. And everyone else will go and gather random materials such as scrap. And we'll also start cutting down some wood too. It looks like we're getting low on that. So let's see, if we go to, is it resources? Yes. No. Tasks is what we want. There we go. So we can start telling them to cut down wood here. And we can tell them to start gathering scrap. Looks like you can only do one at a time. So let's go ahead and remove that marker. We can actually change the location. And I'd like them to start gathering from here. So there's a few things left, so that'll be a great way for them to gather more materials. Alright, everybody's going to start working industrially now. So we're switching from water and farming. There's no more water, like literally water nowhere and not a drop to drink. So now it's time to start producing. Alright, we should be able to withstand this flood, this drought no problem, and then a flood of water will return after this drought on our rainy days. So now is a great opportunity for everybody who's working to gather as much scrap and logging as they can. And you can actually see them working on gathering things from car wrecks and signs and vehicles. We'll also have to provide them with tools too. So now comes step number 2, production, now that food is done. Very sunny day as well. So our people are going to need that protection for production as quickly as possible. Rain returns tonight. Looks like we actually have homeless. Great. That means the population's going up. That's a good sign. It means they're using all those houses like they're supposed to. Beautiful. Okay. Go ahead and build a house there. And there. And we'll have ourselves some more room for building. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's episode. Thank you very much for joining me. Please consider smashing that like on the way out. Thanks for being the best community on YouTube, and I'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much for my first look at the new Civilizations update for Endzone, A World Apart. I'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much for the support. Hope to see you for the next episode. Bye.